Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second game in the Amateur Dota 2 League, Dota Legends. Week 1 with DotA2Romania playing up against Euls. An absolutely amazing game. Game 1 from both teams. Just 14-43 with the final score. And a 50-minute game. Massive props to Euls just to be able to perfect sort of their split push, the rat, holding the base.
Dire team.
Very, very, very well done.
Yeah, I totally have to agree with that. The execution of both teams was really on point. You struggled a little bit in the early game, of course, which lost the laning phase, but the comeback was commencing, and DotA2Romania had to find a way around these split pushing strategies of Euls, and it actually worked out for Euls. They had the chance to come back, but then the Dire team was just too far ahead and could contain the Radiant team, Euls that is, in their own base.
Invoker.
They are now going to get the Invoker for Callum, which we have really as one of known as one of his better mid heroes, and the hero I love to see up against an Invoker is the Brewmaster. Oh, he's so much fun. This draft is absolutely powering through. We've not even got to talk about the bans. So coming from Euls, we have Lycan, Ancient Apparition, and Bat Rider being banned out. From DotA2Romania, the Marana, the Centaur, and the Tinker. We get the Doom and the Brewmaster coming out of Euls. And on the flip side, we have Invoker and Lich coming out of DotA2Romania. The fourth ban for Euls, we do get the Tide Hunter. So not wanting that big Ravage, that sort of once in a million Ravage where you catch all of their BKBs before they activate it. And you've got Refresher and you've got Shivas and you absolutely wipe them without actually the rest of your team. Obviously, a bit idealistic.
Well, to be honest, Euls is trying to ban out a little bit of everything. They try to ban the initiation tool, they try to ban teamfight potential, they try to ban split push potential, so they try to get rid of all the tactics that DotA2Romania could possibly have, but there's so much they seem to be able to work with, having Invoker, Lich and Disruptor already two supports out of and the mid hero first, of course. It's hard to ban out players that are actually capable of playing more than just 4 heroes.
Yeah, you really can't ban out against the players. You really want to ban out what you don't want to face with your lineup.
Pick.
And while we are going to have a Clockwork and Disruptor being picked up by DotA2Romania, and I absolutely love Clockwork, and
Radiant team ban.
I do like me a Morphling pick.
I think at minute 15 this game will explode. There's gonna be the Doom and the Brewmaster with his first item, the Doom trying to get his money up in the woods with Hand of Midas and Devourer. The Morphling having a huge damage output in the early game already with his waveform dealing 300 damage. We have double disable on Euls' side as well from the Rasta, and then we just have this Invoker who is versatile throughout the whole game. We have Lich trying to deny the experience Disruptor who's bringing a lot to the table, and of course the Clockwork who can initiate, and as soon as these heroes all hit level 6 it's gonna be explosive.
Because even before level 6 for the Clockwork, you're gonna if Clockwork ever lands a cogs, boom, Sunstrike, and there is no living. You rarely can live if you are trapped in a cogs with a Clockwork alone, let alone if there is a Sunstrike over the top.
Yes, exactly. Even though Euls have a quite tanky team with Doom, Brewmaster and Morphling, all of these heroes are capable of going into the tank mode, of course, but still there's so much damage output and space control from DotA2Romania with that Clockwork, with that Disruptor, and even though with the Invoker there's so much different positioning they can execute in these team fights, it's gonna be really hard for Euls to initiate properly on them and try to not run into a trap. Even though they have strong heroes themselves, of course, with the Panda split, with the Doom, just ignore, like, for example, dooming the Invoker, locking him out of the teamfight entirely, or even maybe dooming the Disruptor would be a great idea in this matchup so far.
Yeah, completely agree with you. I've played Brewmaster a few times and they've just instantly picked a Disruptor, and every time if they're engaging on you, you will almost never get off a split.
Yes.
Unless you're like sort of really far out of the way with your blink dagger. But it really has to be left where to see where they put these lanes. Like you say, it's likely to be the Doom jungle with the Brew mid and the Morph thing in safe farm position. But what if they sort of mix things up again, and like just either throw the Doom or the Brewmaster and alternate them between like one on off lane and one in mid? How would you sort of fees that?
Well, the Doom will start off lane most likely, and he's gonna be faced against the Lich tri lane, which is probably not gonna push super hard, but deny a lot of experience. So he's gonna face off to the jungle at some point and try to get his farm up, try to get his first core items and contributing to his team. And then the bottom lane will probably DotA2Romania is probably gonna push into the bottom lane and try to pick off hero or the tower. Or maybe top lane, depends on where they lane, of course. But it's gonna be really hard for Euls to control all 3 lanes. The Brewmaster definitely having a good chance against the Invoker in mid with his new, with his recent buffs. And these are gonna be really interesting lanes to see.
Yeah, the final ban out of the Ember Spirit, so really wanting to sort of shy away from that big AoE. Like if they got landed this static storm and got the kinetic field and multiple heroes, if you got a double battle fury sleight of fist, yes, over the top of that, absolutely deadly. They would absolutely melt. And then obviously you can take into account potential EMP tornadoes, deafening blast, meteors, a whole host of spells coming from the Invoker.
Yes, this Doom is looking into an early BKB, ridiculously early. He needs to, maybe this has to be his first core item, because if this Disruptor gets 3 inside his kinetic field, then the Lich ulti and the Invoker spells, it's all gonna rip through Euls. So they have to keep an eye on their own positioning and try to not surprise ganked by smokes and Disruptor maybe even coming from behind or having a 4-stuff even. And they cannot just run out and retreat. Oh, we're gonna see a long game coming up.
Wow. So DotA2Romania opting for the rat in this game.
I'm really interested to see this the item build of this Phantom Lancer, what kind of items he prefers. But this definitely gonna be a defensive tri lane, so yeah, they try to deny the off lane.
Enchantress.
Oh, Enchantress. So they try to turn the tables here.
Yeah, going again once with that Enchantress, and I have to ask, because there's next to no synergy between the rest of DotA2Romania's heroes and the Phantom Lancer.
Yes, they're probably looking to create as much space as they can with these 4 heroes, which you're definitely capable of with, for example, Disruptor and Clockwork and this Invoker just having the global presence. And it's gonna be really hard for Euls to punish this Phantom Lancer pick, but if they can somehow manage to gank down this Phantom Lancer, the late game potential against BKBs of this DotA2Romania team is really gonna be hard for them.
Yeah, and I would actually love to see sort of a very a treads into drum into Yashi build coming out of the Phantom Lancer, just to really maximize the sort of the pushing potential that he has, rather than go for sort of that Radiance or with Midas and that. First of all, we'll jump straight into the game. So, introducing the team of Euls up onto the Dire team, we have Eunice onto the Morphling, Baal onto the Enchantress, Sylvos onto the Shadow Shaman, Zella onto the Brewmaster, and CCC AAA onto the Doom, and they're running aggressive.
There's a really incredible pickup here. We have Boots of Speed first on Shadow Shaman, which is really unusual to see on a support. He's trying to get this initiation going really hard.
Yeah, that room, sort of what they can do with those 2 heroes is absolutely sort of monstrous, really. But yes. Jumping onto DotA2Romania, we have Sido onto the Disruptor, Dark Resk onto the Phantom Lancer. We've got Callum onto the Invoker,
30
Maxwell
seconds to
onto the
battle.
Lich, and last but not least, the Master Windrunner. His shackles were beautiful. Let's look for the hook shots.
He was an incredible player, and he really stepped up the game for his team there, and it was really fun to see how good he handled his hero. And I'm looking forward, because Clockwork has similar mechanics, because you have to aim as well, you have to really control your space, see how much you can move around your enemies, and I'm really looking forward to this player just accelerating his gameplay right there.
Yeah, he really interested to watch him play. And these lineups from each team, both while single-handedly have low win rates, together they perform magic.
Yes.
And I have to say, I absolutely love a Brewmaster. Absolutely love a Brewmaster.
A Brewmaster is always nice. And
there we go.
Yes, and now this Invoker is gonna struggle farming. The good thing for this Brewmaster as well is having that Lich who denied the first creep, and he's definitely gonna have a little advantage of that. Of course, it's not a game changer, but this Enchantress is aggressive jungling, and this is gonna be a lot of trouble for this Phantom Lancer because there's so much pressure on him.
Actually, looking at it, both of these teams, fairly really is a throwback to TI2. Obviously, you've got the Disruptor, you've got the Invoker, and then obviously you've got the Panda, Morphling, Enchantress, and Shadow Shaman. This is actually quite an interesting lineup, and it's quite interesting as we've got coming up to TI4. They're really moving backwards, and there's the Wildkin. There is no respect for the Invokers in these games.
These Invokers have to struggle so hard. And right now there's a lot of harassing going on each lane. I'm trying to find some engagement by any team. This Enchantress is smoked up. She's probably gonna look into a gang on the bottom lane, because this bottom lane is gonna push from the Radiant side. They have 2 ranged creeps. One denied, of course, now. Yeah, and this Invoker is ragely pinging the Wildkin. This is annoying me.
And the thing is, they need to sort of take this quickly, because there is not a whole bunch of regeneration left in the Shadow Shaman. 2 tangos left and just over half health. Double Satyr coming in for this Enchantress. The first ball lands, and there we get a shackle.
And that's the power of these boots. He could just close up the space. That was so valuable, and this is just the boots that paid off, because he could close the distance to this Phantom Lancer and you couldn't just run away. And that was already a valuable pickup.
Yep, and that just double nuke damage coming out of the Satyr Tormentor, along with the Aftershock into the waveform. Just look at the damage onto that Phantom Lancer. That's just not a pretty thing in the morning.
Yes, he's definitely gonna struggle. And these Archers are just diving the tower, trying to harass him out of the lane. And... what? Well, this Phantom Lancer is trying to get a creep now. He's dead.
I think he's just taking... I applaud... obviously, that 100 gold, very, very useful.
Yeah, but he missed so much.
He's losing a lot of experience. He's not... just because it was able to hit him, he's lost so much sort of experience, so much health. Doesn't have enough regen to really be able to function on this lane. And meanwhile, we're going to get a rotation into the mid with the Enchantress and the Shadow Shaman. If they don't go bottom with this Ursa, they can really go on to the Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer does have a left level in a double walk, but actually no detection on either of these supports. And scouted out by the creeps.
Yeah, but there's a ward anyways, so they saw it coming anyways. Yeah. But yeah, and with that Lich being up on top before the 3-minute mark, this Clockwork really got some space and tries now to control this Doom, which is actually possible with their Cox. So he cannot really, the Doom cannot really use his Devour because he's constantly out of mana, and it's actually a nice move by the Radiant team, even though they're 2 kills behind already.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this Enchantress is probably cursing her luck right now. No trolls, no centaurs, just bears and satyrs.
At least the bear.
And obviously the sort of value Wildkin. Wildwing.
Yeah.
Wildwing. Gotta get these terms correct.
This Doom actually really struggles in this top lane, and this Clockwork has all the space he wants.
They're rotating this out, but I'm not sure if this is the best of ideas, really. Though the clock rate is pretty scared for a potential gank right now. And meanwhile, we have the Shadow Shaman and the Enchantress just sat here. The Lich is going to scout one of them out and just walk away. There is no vision up on that high ground. The Lich is just happy as Larry, but they don't know where the Shadow Shaman is, and they're going to try and go onto this Enchantress, and there's massive damage already. And he just will fall already. And the Shadow Shaman just has to TP away.
And now they put this Morphling on top to control the clockwork, which works way better than the Doom. And the Doom just goes into the woods and they sacrifice this bottom lane, but they already did the damage they had to, and this Phantom Lancer is so far behind that he's like really hard, struggling really hard.
Yeah. So one thing that's really looking up for AD2Romania is Callum on this Invoker. 5 minutes in, he's got the gold for the Midas recipe, so we'll be able to moving into that, I imagine, very quickly. Are we going to get the cold snap? The evasion is too strong here. Brewmaster is so tanky. 350 movement speed, and he could just walk up, clap him. Oh, and they might be able to pick him off here. And there we're going to have the Earth clap, and that's going to be a dead Invoker.
It's just that boots on Rasta, which already paid off for 3 kills in this game.
Yeah, and it was just so he had the boot and no boots on this Invoker. He had the boots on the Pandas, so he had already 350. You got the 14% movement slow from the Drunken Haze, and then the 45% from the Thunderclap. Invoker maybe had 150. There was no chance for him to escape from that.
Yes.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And with these skills secured, the Shadow Shaman is like looking to advance to level 4 really soon, and this Doom getting a lot of space just by his teammates. Enchantress farming the enemy jungle. They're controlling so much of the map without pushing a single tower so far.
Yeah, this is absolutely just incredible play coming out of Enchantress. There's no, like, she's alone here, and she's even being watched by this ward. Actually, that could be very careful, very dangerous. Walk straight into the Lich and the Disruptor, and this will be a kill. There is massive damage, and into the Thunder Strike, and boom, headshot.
That was painful to watch.
And that will be the Midas up for this Invoker. So 7 minutes there, a lot quicker than it was last game.
Now that's some decent stats on a drunk Brewmaster thingy.
It is as absolutely incredible to see. So we're going to get a pause out of the Lich and actually a disconnect. So,
oh, he's already walking back. Yeah, but let's have a look at this game. So far, the Dire team is advancing in the 1,500 gold lead, but it's just because of that kills. The Radiant team is sitting strongly on their lanes and trying to farm up their experience, because this Invoker accelerates as soon as he has a few levels up and can combo around as he pleases. But still, this Phantom Lancer struggles so hard on the bottom lane. He has boots and a Quelling Blade and a Magic Wand, and that's about it. He has 1k in the bank, but he could have had so much more if the lane just went a little bit better.
I actually have to say that he has recovered quite well. Only 7 creeps behind the Morphling, obviously the kills deficit. But if he goes for Midas, he will be able to outstrip the Morphling very quickly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just wanted to state out that it was so hard for him finding some places to actually earn experience and gold in this game. And that the Dire team really controlled this lane well, with the Enchantress being an aggressive jungle, and then this Rasta with the first boots pickup, which is always a dangerous thing, because sometimes it just doesn't work out in the situation, and you just have like a wasted item. Yeah,
and I have to think that sort of the comeback for DotA2Romania really came with the 2 catch outs on the Enchantress. I think if the Enchantress had gone unhindered in the Radiant jungle, would have been completely fine. Actually, we do have a smoke out, and are we going to see the Doom straight onto the Invoker? And there we go, run forward.
And this Invoker is literally just doomed. Wow, he's so dead. And they don't want him to get denied and just hack that Lich out, which is so nice. And we have a Clockwork Hook on the Brewmaster there, just to lock him in place, but there's no follow-up. He's just trying to fight this Brewmaster, but this Brewmaster is so evasive.
Lich is coming in with
beautiful! Oh, that jump! Oh, that was such an unfortunate jump.
They will be able to pick him off quite tidily, but
Radiant's middle
also
tower is under
just
attack.
check. Have you got your open mic on? Just at a chat in the chat, and a nice strike from this invoker.
Radiant's top
That
tower
will make
is
up for that death he had there.
I should have my mic on.
Okay. I think there's a really nice advantage going there for Euls, but DotA2Romania with a nice sort of reaction there. They literally instantly killed the Shadow Shaman with the Frost Blast, got his level 6, and then just walked around and got a massive Chain Frost.
Yes, that was
mainly on the Ancients.
That was such a great idea and such a good team play in that situation. It was just a little bit unfortunate, but still a nice execution of like standing on high ground and on low ground and just using their spells to perfection in that situation.
Yeah, that really changes how the XP graph is. Like 2,000 in favor of DotA2Romania, because you've got level 6 Disruptor, you've got a level 7 Lich versus a 5 Enchantress and a 4 Shadow Shaman. You want that 6 on your Shadow Shaman. You really can't be doing without. You want those wards up as quick as possible. And
Yes,
that death on the
definitely.
Brewmaster put his Blink Dagger quite far back, actually.
There's a rocket flying right through my screen. Was quite in my face. But yeah, you're totally right. With that Shadow Shaman reaching level 6, there's definitely gonna be a few towers to fall. And this Dire team is just piling up some experience now, because they were behind in experience and they're massively behind now in just a moment of time. And the gold graph is still in favor of the Dire team actually, but it's getting like, there was a pike and now it's getting in favor of the Dire team again. But it's so hard. It's gonna be so hard to defend with that Phantom Lancer against the Rasta who's reaching level 6, and then you have the Doom who's tanking away, and the Morphling. Just there's so much threat for the Radiant team coming out of Euls. They really will have a hard time defending against a good executed push. And we've seen these teams executing their strategies and their plans quite well, so we're gonna see definitely a decent push. But there's an Invis Panda coming in on the bottom lane.
And they're rotating in to try and help. There isn't any sort of detection for this. The smoke's up Enchantress, and there we go. Doom onto the Phantom Lancer. He's going to go down straight away. You get a tornado onto
bottom tower is under
the
attack.
Disruptor. He's just going to fall. And that was just value invisibility rune, which was scouted
Dire's
out.
middle
I have
tower
to say,
is under attack.
I think that was a big mistake for DotA2Romania to be there with the, because since it was scouted out very cleanly.
Radiant's top
I agree, that
tower
was
is under attack.
a little weird, but still this execution just goes straight through the roof. It's really
Radiant's
nice
bottom
play. They
tower
have the
is under
synergy in their
attack.
team. They know what to expect from their own teammates.
There is there's a lot of damage going on to this clockwork. Oh, that was a nice force up out of the waveform. But they do take out the middle tower. And then they'll try and trade. They will trade it for this tier 2 at the bottom. The blink is now up for Panda, so they've got a big deal there. Tau will be able to give the Midas up to the Doom, and the Enchantress is. I think the Enchantress hopefully.
This clockwork just ran right into the trap, and
Oh blimey!
I'm not sure. That looked more like a misclick than a misplay. But they're still looking to. They're going one by one right inside this gank now, and this Rasta's probably gonna die against the Port Spirits.
Yeah.
But this Invoker has to pay for it, and then now Lich comes in. They need to gather their thoughts, because they're just running in one by one right now. And this Replica is
Radiant's
chasing. I
top
don't know if
tower
he's
is
actually
under
looking into
attack.
chasing with his Morphling, because he's out of mana.
Yeah, he lost too much health. Even with the salve, he didn't have the mana for a waveform or anything.
Yes, but still, that was a little bit weird. But I think the Clockwork made a major misclick, and it just accelerated into more Doom then.
Yeah. Though, just before that engagement broke out, I think it was at the... actually, not so much an engagement, it was just sort of that fight at the bottom lane. There's a Static Storm,
Dire's bottom tower is under
but there's a
attack.
blink in from the Panda just doing massive damage. The Stomp is going to be there from the center, actually not even needed, just one more hit from the Enchantress. The Slow might be enough to lock him down. No Cold Snap on the Invoker, no Invoker available, so they're all getting out of this cleanly. But they're making
Dire's
space
bottom tower
Yes,
is under
exactly.
attack.
for the Lancer.
That is all they're looking to do right now. They just want to get this Lancer as farmed as possible in the smallest amount of time, because if they have this Lancer wrecking through team fights, it's gonna be super hard for the Dire team to come back.
We do now have the wards up for the Shadow Shaman. He did sort of make himself some space after that clockwork kill. Got the wards up in mid and just took down that tower.
Oh, the hook shot misses there. Just barely misses the Rasta, and
that would.
Radiant's middle
No,
tower
they didn't
is
have
under
enough levels
attack.
in the. I think they wanted to try and go for a glimpse, but it's not enough. Even the big range on glimpse was not enough for that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So obviously, Doom with that Midas, also with the Devour. If he just sort of sticks in the jungle, can accelerate his farm very quickly. But actually, they're just going to go straight in for the Roshan. It is scouted out, I think, by the Radiant Ward.
yes, it has the vision up to the Morph, and the Morph just gives it away, and it doesn't really matter because the rocket is like the scouting tool, anyways. But how are they gonna supposed to fight this?
There's no chance. There's a 400 health disruptor. The Lich might be able to get a nice chain frost. The Doom is already on the clockwork, so he's going to be falling there. Nice wall stomp from the Doom there. Disruptor's already dead. There's not enough life to be able to deal with that. And oh, how much damage is this going to take us to? What a beautiful split coming out there. A replica does come out, and are we going to get a border toss onto any of these heroes? Onto the Invoker. Here we go. Let's lay down the damage. And yeah, they're buying the time. They're going to get the trap onto him.
Oh, he actually gets the Rasta. That was a really good play with the Sunstrike there.
Yeah, I don't even think the Sunstrike actually hit. I think there was just enough damage from the Force Spirits. Obviously, with I think the Force Spirits had been hitting the Rasta for a while, and obviously with not a lot of armor,
Yes,
they do hit quite a lot. But that's going to go straight back into the Roshan pit, and that is why you pick Lich. Level 6, and you can deal 840 damage.
Yeah, it was a nice chain frost, but a even, let's say, nicer split by the Dire team. They knew exactly, okay, my teammates are going in this direction, so I go in this direction, and this is just synergy coming out of the team. They know each other quite well, and they probably play together for quite a long time already. You can see it just by how they play together, because for amateur teams it's really hard sometimes to coordinate something like that. The Sunstrike actually hits, and there's a hook shot, but yeah,
that's the waveform, and he needs to be careful because
he just dies. It's really hard to engage on a Morphling without silence, because he's just gonna morph around, and the Sunstrike was...
Even if he was able to kill him, there was an Aegis. And
yes,
while I think obviously it is always worth it for a Clockwork to sacrifice himself for an Aegis, but they were not going to get a tower out of it. And if you're sacrificing yourself for an Aegis, you want to be able to get an objective.
Yes. So far, his Windrunner plays were superior to his Clockwork plays, but this game is far from over, so we're eager to see more of him and see if he can actually get his mind straight.
Well, already they have half of the kills that they achieved in the 50-minute game. Oh, this is bad for the Phantom Lancer. He's going to fall here. There's way too much damage. Where's the waveform?
There's neither the waveform nor the dust that happened. Do they have a dust? Let's see. On the top lane is actually an engagement. With the Chain Frost, this Doom is gonna die, and the Split just gets ready, and he uses his micro so much. And this Panda is working alone, and this Invoker meanwhile getting shackled. Lich using the mech, but still getting away. And a hookshot on the Rasta, and this Morphling is on top of the Clockwork. Even though this Rasta is gonna die. Oh no! Yes.
Yeah, and even though it was a nice hit shot trying to save the Invoker, the Panda was just doing so much work in the back line of that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He lifted up the Disruptor and then just sort of went to work on him once he came down. And he's 1,000 gold away from an Acceptor.
Yes,
but the clap does do a lot of damage.
Indeed.
There's going to be instant 600 damage nuke when he blinks in if he's able to get off both of those spells.
Agreed. But this Dire team is under so much pressure right now because this Phantom Lancer is just trying to get as much farm as possible in the bottom lane, and they have to do something like they just showed us. They have to make action, they have to gather some kills, because this Phantom Lancer is gonna apply some pressure at some point, and then it's really gonna get nasty for the Dire team here.
Yeah, as they don't actually have all too much sort of AoE ability. If these
Dire's
illusions
bottom
if
tower
he
is
gets a
under
butterfly and a heart, I can't see them
Dire's
killing it.
structures are fortified.
This Panda engaging on the Phantom Lancer right now. And there's not really much follow-up because the creep died when the Doom tried to TP on top of it. But then the Enchantress coming in with the Doom. And there's a net creep. Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, what a hook shot from that Hotweb. That is what we like to see out of our Mr. Windrunner. I even got the cogs push and then in brilliant kinetic field.
And this Panda is locked.
And oh, the uphill hits.
Better luck next time.
That was just unfortunate for the Panda. He got cogged up onto the hill, blinked down, and immediately glimpsed back up onto the hill.
Dire's top
Yes,
tower
which
is
was
under attack.
quite nice executed by DotA2Romania, but
Dire's
still
top
Euls
tower is
always
fallen.
coming ahead of each team fight just by a little bit, but it pays off right now because this Phantom Lancer cannot go back to the bottom lane. He's sitting in base trying to regen up. He's forced to go into this Vanguard, or it's just a casual vid booster, but still it's buying time for them, and they just can push down towers with that Rasta wards, with that Panda jumping in. And there's ultis down. The Static Storm is still 36 seconds cooldown, and the hook shot is not ready. And a bit of a weird glimpse there on the Doom.
Yeah, no, that is... wow. Yeah, I just noticed that the full Ags is available. So there's going to be massive damage coming in here. We've got a Ghost Scepter onto the Morphling, so this shotgun is going to be coming out in
Radiant's
force.
middle tower is
So
under attack.
don't even need to doom the Disruptor anymore, he's dead anyway. If it gets that E-Blade out, there's no chance of him living.
Yes, I agree.
Went off.
And the
Oh, what a clap onto Verdun. The nice force staff getting the Lich out of harm's way.
Radiant's middle tower
they're
is under
sacrificing the tier
attack.
2 tower, and now the Panda ulti is out. They have to retreat after this. Probably go. Oh, Roshan is still
Radiant's middle
on.
tower has fallen.
I think 3 minutes.
Dire's top tower
I'm not really
is
good with
under
that
attack.
block. Yeah, now they split up and farm again because their Panda ulti is down, and now is the time for the Radiant team to maybe try something. Their Doom is up, of course, but this Panda ulti and this Rasta ulti both are on cooldown. That's the major force of this Havoc squad of the Dire team right now, and this Morphling still not having his shotgun. They have the transition phase right now, and the Radiant team could maybe get an advantage of it, and they're actually trying. They just smoke ganked.
Yeah,
Scouting for Roshan. Yeah.
if we look at the gold, it's already a 10,000 gold advantage in favor of Euls. The Phantom Lancer, although they were able to, although they sacrificed that tier 2 tower, they just said, well, the Phantom Lancer wasn't farming. He was there in case it was needed.
Oh, beautiful by the clockwork. And this Enchantress is basically just dead. She cannot TP out with a cold snap on top of her, and the hook shot even. But she's buying so much time for the Rasta to actually retreat out. And she's still alive! Die already!
Yeah, there was a cold snap plus battery assault. You're never going to be able to TP away from that.
And there would be a tornado ready, there would be a defeating blast ready. And there's so much stuff that can stop you from TPing in that Radiant team. Even the
And they are
glimpse.
going to take this stack, this Ancient Sound, which would be a really nice farm for them. And they are making the most of the sort of space they have. But the Morphling is pushing this top tower.
is under attack.
Morphling is actually he's 700 gold away from that E-Blade. And that's worrying territory.
And when this Morphling has a shotgun up and when this Panda ulti is back, they're gonna look to create more pressure on the Radiant team, because this Phantom Lancer has a weak spot and it's the early and / mid game, and it's really gonna be punished by this Dire team. They really try to create the pressure, and they're really doing it quite well in this game.
We already have a Shivas up on this Doom. That is just absolutely incredible. The farm is coming in force for all of these heroes. You've got an Ogre Club Bracer and an extra 1300 gold up on this Shadow Shaman. 1100 health. I don't even think they can kill him all too easily. He should be one of the squishy ones on the team. They can't kill him. The Enchantress, 1000 health, plus the max untouchable. They can't right-click her down.
No, it's all reliant on the skill, the spells they have, because there's no BKB up yet. So maybe if this Dire team is looking to push this bottom lane, the Radiant team needs to smoke up and try to like surprise them with a combo of the Lich ultimate and the Disruptor combo skills, and then the Invoker maybe doing some spells to just amplify the damage, and maybe they can surprise this Dire team and pick something off. But in a head-on fight, they probably gonna lose with that Panda being so tanky, and with all the items he has already. And this Doom with the Shivas, it's really hard for this Radiant team to see an opportunity.
Yeah, and I have to say that the Invoker really needs. I have to say the Invoker needs to pull out sort of a Deafening Blast Meteor combo. The amount of damage that you can pull out of that when you're 6 levels into Exort, you can do a lot of damage. Actually, this is not the right day for Phantom Lancer. Goodbye, my friend.
And that is such a major pick-off. He lost the gold. He's down for 40 seconds. He cannot farm, and the Dire team can just happily go to Roshan now. You don't want to pay that buyback now and on the Phantom Lancer, and he doesn't even have it.
Yeah, and we get the shotgun out of the morph thing. This is just such dangerous territory for them to be in.
And the Radiant team cannot just contest this Roshan. This Roshan is a free Roshan thanks to that pick-off in the woods, and this Phantom Lancer are really struggling. They controlled him early in the game, and he has his Diffusal Blade up for 25 minutes into the game. It's not bad for being controlled that early, but it's gonna be a super hard time defending this.
Yeah, they've got so many ways to initiate. They've also got the gem on the Panda.
And there goes the clock. He tried to sneak the Aegis, but yeah, didn't quite work.
E-Blade Adaptive Strike is never your friend.
Not if you're playing against it.
Then again, I have been entirely trolled by a teammate with an E-Blade before up against a Tinker.
He E-Bladed you?
Yeah.
Nice.
He E-Bladed me to save me from a Clinks, ended up getting dagger and lasered by a Tinker. Oh, and here we go.
With that gem. And another slow. And the glimpse on the Panda. Oh, you got it out.
Beautiful split.
But there's a lot of damage coming out with all these ultis, and the Rasta is forced to TP out, and they cannot they cannot chase.
Panda's already dead.
Top tower is under attack.
And there's
Radiant's
Doom
bottom
coming
tower
out.
is under attack.
He hasn't cast nearly enough spells to be of use in this fight. Where is the Panda? Panda actually got away onto the Panda.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And this Doom is probably just wasted. This Invoker didn't have to essentially use skills in this fight, because they were just disengaging. They still get the tower though, but I think they hope for more.
The Invoker has a full sheep stick.
Yes.
And now they get the Panda. And I'm just a beautiful glimpse from Sido.
And that is just a major pick-off for them. They needed this.
Such a major pick-off, such a major pick-up as well. They've now got a level 11 onto the Lich, so more damage on that. They've got 11 on their core, on their supports. And they've got the gem. That is such a big deal for them. They can sort of, sort of safeguard their own jungle. They might be able to sort of salvage this, and they're good. Oh, what a hook shot into the sheep, and this Doom is dead, and they're just getting picked off left, right, and center.
Dire just the Dire team, Euls, that is, they failed their attempt to roll over in the team fight, and then they stayed a little bit too long with the Panda getting glimpsed and the Doom still farming their woods. It's not much of a deal for the Dire team, because they still are way above the gold amount of the Radiant team, but it's so many little steps for the Radiant team to come back into this game, because they still have their combos and there's no BKB yet to approach. And this Phantom Lancer is just trying to pile up his farm. So there is definitely a comeback potential for this Radiant team right now.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, and if the Phantom Lancer gets a lot of illusions onto this morphling, strength morph means nothing when you have no agility.
Yes.
Wow, that's Maybe it depends how long this game goes. If we're looking at another 40-odd minutes, this could be a win.
I think it's too early to call a winner here, even though the Dire team is just ahead of 13k gold right now, and experience-wise it's 10k gold. But it's just so hard for them to push in because the combos of the Radiant team is just well executed, and they know exactly how to play this out.
Yeah,
and we have to.
Also, the thing is, even the late game for the Radiant, you've got that Phantom Dancer.
And the Invoker, yes, the Clockwork, they all contribute to the late game. Even the Disruptor, if you get in again, it's just gonna be super annoying.
Both of these heroes, if they both get in Aghanims as, like, get a kinetic field into a Static Storm with, like, disabling all the items, and then you get an infinite bounce Chain Frost in the middle of it. I don't even think you need the Phantom Dancer at this point if they land out on 5 heroes.
Radiant's top tower is under
yes,
attack.
That's true. And the Chain Force just becomes the bonus, and if a Chain Force is just a bonus, that tells you a lot about the team composition of the Radiant.
Yeah. Yeah. Invoker's just going to try and pick up these creeps at bottom and just push out this wave. He needs to TP back straight away. They can't afford to waste any time at all.
And this Panda is searching for the initiation, and the Morphling should waveforming in. He's still got the Aegis, and they're wasting too much on this Aegis right now, I feel. Because it was running out anyways soon. And now they have the major skills on cooldown. This could turn out bad for the Dire side.
While I think the glimpse was useful, I don't think the Static Storm should have been there. And they are actually going on to absolutely melted down. Clockwork absolutely destroyed. Doom onto the Cancel Lancer. And while they've protected their towers, they're still falling behind the Glimpse onto the Doom, so he's going to come back and die. Actually, Hitch already picked him off. Traded tier 3 tower for a Doom for a Clock plus Aegis. While it's not ideal, it's a hold. They have held it.
It's really a nice hold, because they didn't even use a buyback in this. And right now, all the Radiant team, they just profit from such actions, because they are the ones holding out for the late game right now. They want this game to go as long as possible with that Phantom Lancer and the Invoker and their combos. If the Dire team is not going to get the BKBs up, then this is going to be really dicey for them.
Yeah, we've got the BKB up for the Mortal Flame, however. So Lincoln's BKB, he is very, very difficult for them to bring down. Got the Ogre Club on the Enchantress, which I imagine will go into a BKB. The Panda doesn't need the BKB as long as he can get the split off. And in that last fight, the Static Storm was a split second away from silencing the Panda, getting off his split.
Historical win rate 99%. Okay, we're gonna see about that, Mr. Statsman.
Oh, and here we go. There's the sheep. Oh, what was that? That 4-star. The big play from that Enchantress.
She just sacrificed herself for that Panda, and it's so important for that Panda to survive, because now they can just jump back into this team fight, and the Phantom Lancer is dropping really low. Meanwhile, the Doom's trying to chop on the Lich with the Morphling together, and the Clockwork Hook hits on the Panda goes down. Morphling going out of the Cox, the Doom is left behind now in the Cox alone, with the Blade Man active on the clock. He cannot really afford to hit on that. And Clockwork still dying to the Forked Lightning, and now the chase is on. They try to get this Disruptor, and they eventually will catch him, and this is so huge for the Dire team. Oh, what a force of use. And they're trying to keep himself alive. And with the Adapt to Strike, and then the Doom on the Invoker gonna make him fall as well, because he cannot do anything, and that's just almost a team wipe, or is it?
I think that.
I think Lancer got out. Yeah, he didn't buy back. Yeah, but there was such a huge fight for the Dire side. They can just enter the base now if they use the creeps in the middle and just go for the bottom top Rex, and there's no way Radiant can defend this in the meantime. When Morph hits the Rex, it's just gonna fall so fast with the Rust Wards, and the Phantom Lancer cannot hold alone anyways. And now the Radiant team is respawning, but the Rex are already down, and Dire team can just disengage now and maybe give a free gold by this Rust Wards, but that's just Rex down. And that's so major for the Dire team right now.
And that's another nearly 4,000 gold up on this Morphling. Is he going to get that Skadi, or is he going to just get a Butterfly? Yeah, going to go into that Butterfly, even more agility. I'm actually worried that this Phantom Lance will actually die to an E-Blade Adaptive Strike combo if he gets the waveform off.
I agree.
With 1500 health.
If he finds himself in the wrong position and being too aggressive, he's just gonna die in a split second by this Morphin.
And actually, we're not having a BKB coming out from the Enchantress. It's going to be an Aghanim Scepter. So, Tuas really wanted to utilize this is the extra range that you can get from the Impetus, and said, I shouldn't be in range to be using a BKB if I've got the extra range on Impetus. So, we have a Mystic Staff on the Lich. I must say, I wasn't expecting that.
You were probably hoping for the Ganims to see some major team fight crashes, or the Glimpse back on the Enchantress, and oh no, nice Forest of Use. And this Rasta has a dagger. He can jump in, be the bait, and the follow up by the Panda and the Morphling can just be so huge for the Dire team. They can jump onto everything with the Doom.
Yeah, it's a free Roche, because even if they want to try and take, even if they'll try and contest it, the Rasta wards with an Aghanim Scepter, they can't contest the Roshan. It's going to have the cheese as well. The Doom goes straight onto the Invoker. He's wasted. He's already dead, my friend. Taken down.
And now all this Radiant team can hope for is to retreat out of this. This Morphling's just wreaking havoc right now with his items. He's just ripping through everyone. And then goes to Ultra Kill, and that's a free Roshan now, and probably just base.
Yeah, that would be the base. Obviously, they will have the cheese probably onto the, I imagine onto the Doom.
Maybe the Enchantress, yeah.
Nope, Enchantress.
I think she's gonna hold it for the Morphling.
Yeah. Well, the Phantom Lancer did escape. He didn't really get anything out of it. He wasn't... That's the problem with taking fights like this, is unless you're so farmed that when you throw out your Q, you will actually instantly attack like 7 million times and you'll get a bunch of illusions. You can't... It's very difficult to play Phantom Lancer in this situation. Because you can't just walk in, because you will just get absolutely nuked down.
Yes, with that Morphling finishing his butterfly, he's magic immune and running into he can waveform into the enemy team, and they cannot really do something about him right now. He's just way too farm to handle the Radiant team. Cannot really deal with him right now. He's just way too strong for them, and this attack speed is just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's got 31 armor as well. Oh, there we go.
And use the BKB.
That was the BKB. Wow. Really shows us how far ahead this Morphling is. 12-0-7, 270 last hits, over 20,000 gold advantage, and over 15,000 experience advantage. Obviously in favour of Euls. We're going to have a BKB up for the Invoker in a few seconds. The Phantom Lancer, he's actually been keeping up in his items quite well, but I don't think it's not enough just yet. They need to get like the perfect initiation. Actually, the game really is coming down to what the Disruptor and the Lich can put off. Actually, they're going to go on to this Doom, and he needs to be careful. Actually, he's going to fall here, and I wonder if he is overstayed his welcome.
And the good thing for this Invoker is that he doesn't die, so the Doom is wasted in this position, and they have to wait another 80 seconds just to initiate again, because this Doom is so vital. They need it in order to break the base, of course, and this just creates some more time for the Phantom Lancer to get something up, because all their hopes rely on this Phantom Lancer right now to get some items, because else their teamfight potential doesn't matter, because the BKBs are up now.
Yeah, he's going to see about space. Nearly 3,000 gold up on him. He wants to send his buyback for this fight. But on the other team, we've got the Aegis BKB Butterfly onto this Morphling with the Lincolns and an E-Blade. So much armor, so much health, so much survivability. And then we're going to have the potential buyback from the Brewmaster with the Boots of Travel, just get back into that fight straight away. It's really a rough patch for them, for DotA2Romania.
Yes.
We're going to have a smoke up. This is what they need to do. And if they can get a nice wraparound, and they need to make a choice. That's the problem right now. They're not sure what they want to do. You've got got the Invoker here. If
Radiant's
they
bottom
walk back,
tower is under
if
attack.
Doom catches him out, he would just absolutely be wrecked just from a rotation. And because of indecision, the tier 3 is almost gone.
Yes, they don't know what they want to do, and it just costs them so hard now because this Doom is disabling the clockwork and he cannot hook right in there and try to help his team. The good part for this Morphling is he still has his Aegis up, and they have 6 heroes and they have the cheese, and there's so much this Dire team can do right now, and now the Doom is up again. And this Radiant team really needs to make something happen, and the smoke was a nice idea, but I think they would have needed to like wrap around like that and catch them off guard when they still like split up, and this Doom was farming here. If they picked off the Doom, for example, then it would have been so major for them.
Yeah, thing is, they really need to be more decisive on those two Romania. It's a really tricky situation for them to be in because obviously one mistake and they will lose the game. Oh, Clockwork, this is not where you want to be. Don't trap your friend in with you. Oh no, the Clockwork's already dead. Definitely the last will hit on one, but the Panda is gonna get glimpsed back through the Hex. But blink in 1 second, and then we get Hex. Actually, no Hex even required, just a Shackle onto the Disruptor. And there's the 2 heroes dead, and that was just indecision all over.
Yes, they're looking shaky. They dominated the first game so much that they got into this game feeling really safe, and now they're faced with a new situation they didn't deal before, and wow, these are some really aggressive Rasta Wars, and they just bring down the tower.
Radiant's bottom tower has
And this Rex is melting.
Yeah, and the primal split goes out already. It's a sort of, they're acting as a buffer. They can just rotate mid and take these mega creeps right now.
This Radiant team needs to do something now. If they don't defend this is mega creeps, and this is GG.
Yeah,
and the Clockwork just dies.
Instantly.
There comes the Chain Frost, and the Disruptor combo didn't come off, and with the Chain Frost, it's really hard. And the Phantom Lancer is trying to hit on this Morphling, but with the BKB and the Morphling ability, it's just so hard to get down with the evasion, and the Invoker dies in the background. With a Static Storm on the Morphling still doesn't take any damage. And there's the GG called. So we go into the game 3.
Yeah, final game.
Radiant's middle barracks has
To say, Euls, they really played their aggressive style extremely well in that game. Just not even sort of a second sort of let up from them.
Well, great game by Euls there. They really played out their strength, and that's the Euls I remember. They like to play this aggressive style, and they have so much experience with it, so they stick to what they know really good, and it paid off directly into game 3 now. And I'm really looking forward into this next game, because they probably will pull out their pocket strategies and try to surprise the enemies. So this is still gonna be a really good game 3.
Yeah, all the cards are on the table right now.
So I think we're gonna go into a small break, and then we are ready for game 3. Stay tuned.
I'll see you later, guys.